Here's a quick video for my Math 2 students going into our first unit on conditional probability, but this could work for any student who is struggling with standard 7.SP.C.7, understanding and applying probability models. So the key concept here is that a probability model represents a situation mathematically to predict how likely events are to occur. Now, how you write one is that, well, this right here means the probability of something happening. For example, over here, when you roll a number cube, what's the probability of rolling a 1, or the probability of rolling an even number, or 1 to 4? So the probability of some outcome is the number of favorable outcomes, or the outcomes that you're looking at and studying, divided by the total number of outcomes. And we can express that as a fraction, just leave it alone once you have the fraction, or you can divide it out and express it as a decimal, and that decimal can also be turned into a percentage. So let's take a look at some examples of probability here. Looking at a number cube has 6 numbers on it, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the probability of getting a 1, well, all of the possible outcomes, there's only one possible outcome that has a 1 out of a total, that's my alarm, sorry, out of a total of 6 possible outcomes. So our probability of rolling a 1 is 1 out of 6. We could reduce that to a decimal and then change it into a percentage if we wanted to, but I'm not going to do that right now. The probability of getting an even number, well, on a number cube, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 3 even numbers out of 6 numbers total. How many numbers are 1 to 4? Well, that's 4 out of 6 of them. Numbers 1 to 6, well, that's 6 out of 6, which actually is just 1. Probability of 7? Well, there are no 7s. And when you take 0 divided by 6, you get 0. That's how you write a probability model. What about for the spinner over here? Probability of getting A. Well, if we look at the spinner, we have 4 sections, all equally divided. So each of those sections is equally as likely to be landed on. So there are 4 sections. Only one of those sections is A out of a total of 4. Now, if we look at the color, that's going to be a little bit different. The number of green sections is going to be 2 out of 4, which is the same as 1/2. Now, let's talk about what these probability numbers mean. Here's the probability spectrum. It goes from 0, which is impossible, all the way up to 1, which is absolutely certain, with 0.5 or half in the middle being a 50-50 chance. Numbers bigger than a half, close to 1, are likely. Numbers less than a half and close to 0 are unlikely. Now, just because that's our probability model doesn't mean that that's the way things are always going to work out. So, let's say you spin the spinner wheel 20 times and you get these results. 6 A's, 4 B's, 7 C's, 3 D's, and then you get 4 blues, 6 reds, and 10 greens. Now, these numbers we would expect all to be 5s, since our probability model says that each one is a 1 out of 4 chance, and 1/4 of 20 is 5. However, we don't observe that. There are slight variations, and that's for a couple of reasons. The first very good reason is that it's the real world. It doesn't always work out perfectly. If you flip a coin, it could land heads or tails, but it doesn't mean you're going to get exactly half and half unless you do a lot of them. So it's the real world. There's slight variations, so that's the reason why we have a difference. If we look at these right here, that actually comes out to be pretty close to what we would expect, except we would expect a little more blue and a little less red. But again, we're dealing with the real world. Nothing is perfect. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.